Girls, today I am demonstrating the use of wax resist in your watercolor illustrations, and you don't have to be doing watercolor for a fine art intent. This is just a little fan art that I am doing of work from Over the Garden Wall, and this was commissioned at MTAC 2017, and I thought perhaps the commissioner would enjoy a little bit of a tutorial. So I'm going to use Brusho to do an interesting background effect on this. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go around the characters using this clear wax crayon. You could use colored wax, I've done that before. You can also use white wax, but clear is what is usually offered to watercolor artists. That's not any reason not to try other things though, right? And we're just going around the figure right now because I've found that Brusho has a mind of its own. So I want to make sure I delineate everything so it's still readable. And it's actually very hard to see the white wax. Right now I'm going over graphite, but I'm actually going to fill these bushes in with spirals, and it's going to be difficult to see. So you want to work in a well-lit room, and part of what you're going to be looking for is, let me see if I can get it, basically for the wax to catch the light. Unfortunately, I can't get it. So now that I've outlined the figure, I'm going to use my wax to draw in some additional spirals. And like I said, it's very hard to see. So I've got my head kicked off to an angle you guys can't actually see what I'm doing. But I am filling in some of the background with spirals like what I did with the graphite. And I apologize that you guys can't actually see that, but once I add the Brusho, it'll be like magic, right? And I wanted to give sort of an appearance of confusion. So, with the Brusho, and if you guys are new to Brusho, you can actually check out my many other videos on using Brusho. But I'm going to go ahead and select some colors that will suit this. So I want like browns and greens. So here is a light brown, maybe even a dark gray. Here is my gray. Here's a black. Here's emerald green. I wonder where my dark brown went off to. And sea green. Where is leaf green? There's leaf green. Now I'm just looking for brown. Seems like I'm not going to find it. There we go, dark brown. So we've actually got a lot of colors that we might be using on this piece. So the next thing you're going to want is a cup of clean water and a large round synthetic. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do to really make the wax resist stand out is we're going to go ahead and just apply a wash of water all over the background, and that's going to activate the Brusho pretty much on contact. And another thing that's neat about wax resist is it's going to create zones. We're only putting water on our background. We're not putting any water on our character. And I really could have grabbed a bigger brush, but I needed to be able to work in some tight corners. So basically with watercolor, you should use the largest brush you're comfortable with using. And I could have gone a little bigger, but my even bigger round is actually in use right now. Okay, so we have water all over our background. So now we're gonna go ahead and shake that brush out, and a little bit of magic is gonna happen. So that's black. As you can see, it has multiple colors in it. I'm going to use the black kind of sparingly. Then loads of green. And I'm not concerned about getting it on the characters. That's why we activated the background and not the foreground. And if you have areas like this over here that didn't seem to get activated, you can dip your brush in the water. You want to, I had a bit too much color in that area. So it's a little wild, and then we want just a little bit of brown. Oh, look, there's a whole area over here that didn't get activated. And I happened to get a little on his ear accidentally. So I'm going to use some paper towels just to dab that up. There we go. Also going to use the paper towels to soak up excess water. You can also use paper towels if color is too saturated in an area to dab up some color. Sprinkle in some of the brown. Alright, so I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to take a spray bottle of water and activate some of the areas that didn't get activated. Alright, so this isn't totally dry, but it is drier, and I think we'll be okay activating some of those areas of brush out. So I have a very fine spray here, and I'm going to use my hand to try and shield wart from getting spritzed too much, since I don't want too much of this in his design. I'm also going to aim the spray away, at least to the best of my ability. These sort of little tiny spray bottles tend to be very prone to jamming. I think the brown is working pretty well. And you can see the wax resist is coming out a lot more clearly now. So again, I'm going to step away and let this dry.